Hey, welcome. So today, we're diving into how some of the top innovators out there are completely rethinking the role of AI in their strategy. We hear all the time about AI replacing tasks, but what if its real power is actually in supercharging human creativity? To really see what I mean, let's look at a few household names. We're talking everyone from rocket scientists to fashion giants who are already putting this idea into practice.
First up, we've got NASA, an organization that is, and I mean this literally, reaching for the stars. They're tackling some of the most mind-bendingly complex challenges you can even imagine.
Next, H&M, a global fashion powerhouse that has to innovate non-stop just to keep up with trends that change in the blink of an eye, not to mention their incredibly complicated supply chains.
And rounding out our trio, Procter Gamble, a consumer goods giant that's managed to stay on top for more than a century by constantly reinventing the everyday things that we all use.
So you've got three wildly different industries, right? Three absolute titans of innovation. So what's the common thread here? What's their shared secret for using AI to get ahead and stay ahead? Well, that's the big question we're going to unpack today.
It turns out their secret isn't some fancy new algorithm or a single piece of software. It's actually a philosophy. It's a whole new way of looking at the partnership between our own ingenuity and artificial intelligence.
And listen, this is not just some happy accident. These organizations are all landing on the very same core ideas about how humans should be directing AI, especially in those messy, early stages of innovation. It's a huge signal that something fundamental is shifting in the field.
But look, getting there is not a walk in the park. Trying to use AI for something as creative and strategic as innovation, well, it comes with some serious growing pains, both for the individual experts and for the entire organization. So at the employee level, you've got these brilliant people, scientists, designers, engineers, and you have to help them shift their focus from just the how of building something to the much deeper question of why it even matters. Then zoom out to the company level, and the challenge is, how do you get these powerful tools into everybody's hands in a way that's actually effective and responsible?
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The specific roadblocks. A lot of companies are suddenly finding they need these prompt engineering experts. I mean, people whose whole job is just figuring out the magic words to type into an AI. That creates a massive bottleneck. And generic AI tools? They tend to completely ignore the deep, unspoken knowledge that a user brings to the table. They struggle to push people beyond what they already know, and, maybe most importantly, they can make it really blurry who actually owns the final idea.
So how do you get over these hurdles? Well, it takes a fundamental shift in how you think about it. Instead of just asking what AI can do for us, we need to start asking, what can we do with AI?
And that brings us to the absolute core concept for today, human-directed AI. The key takeaway here is this: the human is always in the driver's seat. You bring the spark, you bring the insight, the years of experience. The AI, it's your co-pilot, it's your catalyst, helping you explore and build on that initial brilliant idea of yours.
Now, this isn't just some abstract theory. This philosophy is actually being put into practice. There's a company called the Nextish.com, for example, and they've built their entire mission around this human-directed approach. They focus specifically on that fragile, very early idea stage, the place where so many amazing concepts just fizzle out.
Okay, let's get practical. How does this actually work? Well, they built a platform called IdeaNAV, and it was designed from the ground up to solve those exact challenges we were just talking about.
First off, that whole prompt engineering bottleneck. With most AI tools, the quality of what you get out is totally dependent on how good you are at writing prompts. IdeaNAV just gets rid of that barrier completely. The system is designed to collaborate with you. No need to learn a whole new skill.
And what about that critical issue of ownership? Who gets the credit? IdeaNAV's design makes it crystal clear. The human is the originator. The platform is built to reinforce your agency, making sure your insight is always the core. The AI is a tool, not the author. It's just a brilliant way to put that human-directed principle into action.
And hey, what about helping people grow their skills? IdeaNAV doesn't just help you get a task done. It actively develops your abilities. It gives you smart suggestions to kind of nudge you into new areas you might not have explored. But it goes even further by weaving in a whole set of 18 online courses with hands-on exercises, basically turning innovation itself into a continuous learning journey.
So when you start putting all these pieces together, you realize the ambition here is way bigger than just making a clever piece of software. It's about fundamentally changing who gets to be an innovator and how they do it.
What the Nextish.com has really built is a whole ecosystem they call innovation as a service. It's this combination of the IdeaNAV software, access to real human expert mentors, and that deep library of online training. It's the whole package, a full support system for anyone with a great idea.
The ultimate vision here is really about economic empowerment. By making this kind of strategic innovation easier for everyone to access, the goal is to spark a whole new wave of game-changing startups, help small and medium-sized businesses completely reinvent themselves, and make corporate R&D faster and more effective. And that brings us full circle, doesn't it? The world's most innovative organizations are realizing that AI's greatest strength isn't replacing human thought. It's amplifying it. The technology is the catalyst, for sure. But the spark, the insight, the breakthrough, well, that still comes from you. So the only question left is, what idea will you originate?